Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kettle Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. Hope you're doing well this morning. Great to have you along. Oh, I was watching this. There's a story at the New York Post. New York Post. Deadly mass shooting in California erupted when a toddler was cutting her birthday cake. And this mother sharing this story, you had a number of people who were killed. Oh, this kind of stuff is just so heartbreaking to me. Took place in California. 4 people killed, including 3 kids. Have a toddler cutting into her cake at her second birthday party, according to her mom. And I watched the video of this mother. Patrice Williams is her name. And she's in tears, as you can expect. And she says, you know, just so unexpected. She thought it was balloons popping. So birthday party, you think it's balloons popping. Turns out it's gunfire. And 4 people killed, 3 children, ages 8, 9, and 14. 21-year-old also killed. Another 11 were wounded, including one who's in critical condition. Just heartbreaking situation. She said she didn't get a good look at the person responsible. She has no idea who would target a child's party. They deserve to be in jail. They deserve to go to hell, she says. Wow. And then there's a photo of her holding an AP microphone at the New York Post, and just sad as it's just, she said, I'm sorry, but it's not respectable. It's a kid's party. Yeah, no kidding. Not respectable, I think, is being way too kind. Pretty incredible. I was trying to see if there was anything else that's out there this morning. Oh, those of you who are fans of Dave Coulier, and he had beaten cancer and he's battling it again. Now he's undergoing treatment for tongue cancer. So you might remember him from Full House. He played Joey Gladstone. And he had beaten, his first cancer was discovered. He had a golf ball sized lymph node. And so to see him now having to undergoing treatment for tongue cancer, because a few months ago he was celebrating being cancer-free. And those are the kinds of stories that just remind you that life is pretty short. There was a piece that crossed my desk yesterday. It was this is an op-ed from Nathan Sanderson, who is the executive director of the South Dakota Retailers Association. And he's talking about Rick Weiland and constitutional amendments. Oh, here we go again. Our constitutional amendments and Weiland. He is, he cannot get any. I've been a critic of Rick Weiland's before. I have visited with him several. He's a pleasant enough guy. Just politically, he and I don't agree on anything. And Rick Weiland is one of those guys. He can't get it through. The legislature doesn't do what he wants, his will. Therefore, you got to get around the legislature. Lawmakers are not playing ball. They're not going to take, because South Dakota, whether Rick Weiland likes it or not, South Dakota is a conservative state, generally speaking. You find a lot of folks, I think it's drifted further to the left, and especially Sioux Falls. Troubling to me, especially since Sioux Falls is my home, but drifting further to the left. But Rick Weiland is, he gets frustrated. The legislature won't enact his will, and therefore, you got to go to the ballot. You got to let the people decide. And I have talked about this on the air a number of times, a big proponent of, oh yeah, put it to the people, let the people decide. Oh no, I've done a total 180 on that. Total 180. In that I would rather see us work through the legislature. And there's they're the ones who represent us. They're the folks we send to peer, right? And so anyway, Weiland is got another proposed constitutional amendment. He last year he initiated Measure 28, would have eliminated the state's ability to tax anything sold for human consumption. You'll remember we talked about it last year. Weiland claimed it was designed only to eliminate taxes on food. You'll remember one of the other concerns was it would have prohibited the state from taxing things like tobacco, marijuana, other consumables would not have been able to be taxed as a result of this. And it wound up being defeated. And so South Dakota voters rejected it, and they stated that any drafting errors could be corrected by the legislature. And Weiland is out there again. He's saying, this is what's crazy to me, is you put forward these ideas and these measures, and you're out there and you're working, you're trying to get people to pass them. And then you're saying, well, they can be corrected by the legislature. So if there are issues with the measure, it can be corrected by the legislature, which is absolutely total bunk. And he said during it was during an issues forum at Dakota Wesleyan University, he said, a lot of these changes then, they're technical and the legislature, they can fix that. And so he's out there pushing the same old failed bill of goods, hoping that South Dakota voters are going to, fall for it this time. And as I look around and see what people are doing and what they're saying and what's happening, it might be possible. So Weiland said, the bottom line is it's up to the legislature to figure it out, not the writer of that initiative. So you're writing initiatives and then saying, as the writer of the initiative, you have no responsibility to figure it out. That's up to the legislature. So in other words, let's just toss a turd in the punch bowl. We'll let the legislature figure it out. I mean, that's not an approach to good governance. It just isn't. The way that he looks at government and its role, and I view him as a guy who just wants what he wants. I mean, and he wants one way or another, he wants to get things through. He wants what he wants, and everybody else can figure it out. It's not an approach, I think, that I'm really trying to be careful here in what I say, but I just don't think that's a responsible approach. I think it's a reckless approach. I think it's just a reckless fly by the seat of your pants, get what you want. And I really appreciate Nathan Sanderson stepping up and writing this. I wanted to see. He's saying, this is Nathan Sanderson. He says, this is a colossally bad idea. There's no question that voters want the will of the people to be honored by the legislature, but it's rank hypocrisy to propose a poorly drafted measure during one election, recommend that the legislature make amendments if needed, then bring a constitutional amendment during the next election cycle to prevent our elected officials from doing that. Yeah, exactly right. So he wants to, in one election cycle, he's saying the legislature can fix it. Now he's offering an amendment so that the legislature can't fix these things. So if the people approve it, yeah, too bad, so sad to the state legislature. You cannot fix it. You cannot make any challenges or changes rather to that issue for a period of time. That is an incredibly reckless approach to state government, and he just keeps. The guy's apparently got boundless energy for bad ideas because we're seeing more of that. It's wow. It just kind of blows me away. So here he comes again, Rick Weiland and his groups, and we'll wind up talking about it. And this is where I really think it falls on those of us who are responsible and who look at things differently and understand how reckless a lot of these proposals that he's brought forward in particular, a lot of the proposals that he's brought forward are just incredibly reckless. I think it really rests on us to make sure that we are letting people know what's going on and what's happening. And, but it's a great piece. Nathan Sanderson at the, I don't want to mess up the name. It's South Dakota Retailers Association wrote that. You may have seen it. And I wanted to mention that. That's really all I've got for you today. If you have not yet subscribed, you're watching on YouTube and you have not yet subscribed, we are this close to hitting 500 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber yet, we only need 4 or 5 more to hit the 500 mark. So please help us get there. And then so I'm just going to keep begging, please subscribe to what we're doing and liking the comment, sharing it. All of those things really make a difference and they're very appreciated. So thank you to those of you who have done that. I'm going to leave it there for today. You have made it to the end of today's video. So you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade, the folks that are here each and every day. Appreciate all of you so much. Talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, my friend, I'm underground and gone.